What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers, finally. So yeah, when we left off in the last episode, we did some tinkering around, got some lighting done, for the most part. That was really the big thing that we got done, and mostly just talking about kind of where things were going and so on and so forth. Actually, no, now that I think about it, I didn't do any lights here. And I don't think I've ever put any lights in here, which is probably not a great thing, though in the daytime it's not too bad because there's lights everywhere. It does look, I don't want to preemptively celebrate, but it does look like we may have gotten the windows fixed? Maybe? They're not popping all over the place like they were in the last episodes, so that's good. Oh, and I did find out, this is going to be probably the primary focus of this episode, is that I did find out that the new system implements a one piston per grid policy, or else it turns into an unstable or not safe or whatever that warning was that we saw in the last episode. I'm thinking that's what's going on with this being fine and this not being built. What I don't know is why the metal here is not being built. That's the only part that I'm a little confused about. I mean, everything's painted correctly, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So what we're going to do, first and foremost, is we're going to repaint these and see if we can get them disassembled. And if we can't, then that's kind of a different sign of a problem altogether. Because I don't really know why this would have an issue when we've had no other issues with the nanite machine before. The biggest reason I'm confused about that, and it does not seem to actually be dismantling it, by the looks of things. My biggest concern there is the fact that we haven't really changed anything, and I'm fairly positive... I need a control panel. I'm fairly positive that the nanite machine... Use grind, use ignore, show area. Okay, there we go. That's the problem. When I move the nanite machine, it's no longer in the building grid. Aha! They also seem to have updated this as well. Either the mod makers or the game developers, one of the two, updated something that used. Well, that answers that. Okay. And I think it's already at a max grid size. Yes. I don't know if I can control it to do another... Nope. Has to be between 1 and 75. Okay. So... That's not gonna work. Okay, well... I could... You know what we could do is put them off to the side here. But we may not use pistons. And the reason I say that is because we really haven't needed them, per se. Like, we had them for aesthetics, but we really don't need them. Do I have... I do have a few on me. Okay. I'm actually going to grind these down manually, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to take these down manually, just so I actually have more steel plates in my inventory. By extension, I can build more stuff. Let's see. Take that down, take that down. Actually, that can probably stay there. Take this one down. And we'll put... not a half slope. Okay, put that one there. And this goes out 1, 2, 3, and then it goes down again. So let's try and mirror that a bit. because I think that worked out pretty well. 1, 2, 3. Get one there, one there. And then we should have a middle point. Now we could use another piston. I just don't really think it's that necessary. Let me double check and make sure we're still within our range here. Okay, so in this direction we're well within our range. The other one, not so much. Now, some of you are probably thinking, why don't I just use the platform? That wouldn't be a bad idea. I just now thought of it, actually. But since that's actually a functioning platform at the moment, I'd kind of like to keep this area over here power-related. And do the other one... do something else in a different area. So... Alright, so we're going to go... And I don't think I'm going to use pistons for this particular part here. Not just because of the... come on. Not just because of the instability thing or whatever, but also just because we haven't really needed the pistons. It was a cool idea to be able to have them extend and retract. And originally, I was going to do something where script-wise it optimized the power output, but we've kind of been doing okay with that just on our own. So I think we're going to do just a steel pillar kind of base thing. I think, for now, anyway. So let me work on this for a minute, and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got, and this is not the new one, by the way, this is the old one. I realized that my solar panel was a little misaligned, and it still is a tad. Let's see if we can fix that. So what I've been doing is copying this value, since it's the kind of track the sun value, and pasting this in, and then when I think this is about ready, then I paste it back. So it's still a little off, but it's fine. But it was way off before. Like, it was pointed further over this way and the sun was further to the left, and I was kind of like, that's not optimal. So I have this set up, and by the looks of things, we shouldn't ever have the solar panels hitting each other, but it should also be virtually unobstructed. Especially when you consider that they're not... I may have gone a little too high, actually, that I probably could stand to go one lower, and that way from this angle the sun's never blocking that bottom panel, but I feel like it's splitting hairs. So at this point, I'm going to Control Shift and paint as much of this as I can, because I had painted it as kind of a like a tested out thing and make sure the block placement was correct. But we don't really need to do anything else from that. And actually, one idea that I just had was to possibly do some kind of shape like that kind of thing and bring it, kind of have like this oval type of look. Give me that back. There we go. That's something I might want to do. We could also put another one this way-ish. I don't know if we can go too far, because we're going to run into the hangar bay. But I think we could get away with it. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing, and this is kind of one of those efficiency things of kind of kill two birds with one stone type of deal. But I don't know if I'll be able to tackle it in this episode or even get it done within a few, so it may be something I work on in the background. I haven't decided yet. That's something I wanted to get done, though, is get that set up. However, you might notice it's not really building. And that's because, no doubt, I'm sure I don't have the components that I need. Yeah, so advanced rotors, missing items, 300 steel plates, 480 power cells, and 256 solar cells. Okay, so when we're in assembler, I don't know why the steel plates isn't there, because my drill platform has like 90,000 iron or something. I don't know why it... I guess it has to pull 70,000. I guess it has to pull from that before it actually uses it all, so that's kind of annoying. Can it not fit it all? Oh, the volume of it is at actual capacity. Okay. Now, when it's at capacity... Okay, it isn't. I was going to say, is it also from what you build, but it's not. All right. So how many where did that go? There we go. 318. So 300. Let's do 320. That should be enough. Power cells are 480, I think it said. Let's just do 500. Oh, we actually can make that. I really didn't think we could. Okay. That's awesome. And, oh, math, memory. What was the other one? 200 and something solar cells? Okay, let's cancel that. Let's do 200. So we'll need more nickel. And for that, we'll need the drill platform. Nickel, 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 nickel. Okay. How much does that give me? I guess that's 1 nickel. How many nickel do I need? About 300, give or take. What was it, 220? Let's do 250. So, 1,100, so I need like 400 nickel. Ugh. We don't have a multi for that. We do have enough. Let's just do 500. And I think we'll need to turn the drill platform back on. Yeah, so that's 1 nickel per thing. So that's fine. And with that, we should have enough that it'll make everything. Now, that will take care of our solar array problem up top while we're doing this stuff. However, some of you may notice that that's not ideal, is having to do all that. I'd like to streamline this as much as I possibly can. Hello? I will say this, I don't like modded blocks for that. Modded blocks have a hard time with collision boxes sometimes. So you can see this server rack here. This is a modded programmable block, and there's 2 different ones. I personally just like the look of the server rack. I think it just looked cooler than the big block that the programmable block is. I like the little terminal one for small ships, but I'm not a big fan of the just the big giant block kind of thing. Now, there's been a huge update to programmable blocks in that not only do they have arguments and things, that's been kind of there for a while, but there's also, I don't see an explanation for it in this editor, but in one of the change logs, there's been a way that now they can basically do self-tick analysis updates type of thing. So you don't need to have a timer block that is constantly running a script anymore. It can just do it itself. Now, I haven't really read into the ins and outs of how that all works, but that is notable. The other thing is I really don't remember much about this. I have not done Space Engineers programming in so long. I mean, I know it's built on C# and whatnot, but as far as their actual library of functions and things like that, whoops, I really do not remember much about it. However, there was something in this. Or was it in the description? Maybe it was in the description. Push ingot ore immediately, collect only if idle. If set collecting floating objects is done only if no welding grinding is needed. That's interesting. Okay. Controlled by script. Here you go. When checked, the system will not build repair blocks automatically. Each block has to be picked by calling scripting functions. So I don't think I want to do that. What I'm looking for is a script to exist outside of the nanobot thing, that what it's going to do is read in the information of what this is needing, what this is missing, and then essentially pipe that over to the assembler to have it made, and have the assembler go, hey, I don't have this, have that pipe over to the drilling platform, have it make it. That's kind of the ideal what I'm looking for out of a script. But unfortunately, I don't really know how to do that. Like, I know how to do that in terms of the programming structure, but in terms of the space engineers, how you code it, what things you can use, what things aren't available, you know, how to code it properly so that it talks to each other the right way, those types of things. In that regard, I don't know how that's going to work. Are you good enough? I can set recharge. Check for power storage, uncheck for output. Let's set that to auto, because I don't want these blocks using power at the moment. My primary goal for them is to just store. That's set for recharge. I'm pretty sure all of these are set for recharge. Recharge, recharge, charge, charge. Okay. I guess you can do it actually before they're completed, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, that nanobot drilling platform thing is really, 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 really cool, though, because, like, I would never have thought I could just build a whole new array. Typically, solar panels and stuff are fairly expensive, especially new, like, early game. I'm not really sure why, but part of me just wants to encase this in glass somehow, kind of like we did this before. So that may be a project I work on as well. And I didn't notice, but these are not properly, like, sealed off. They're just kind of free-floating, and I don't like that. So that's something that I think we're going to fix today. Mainly because I want... Ah, crap. I want to work on the scripting part, but I don't really want to take up you guys' time with that because I need to actually get reacquainted with kind of how the programming stuff works and things and what interfaces I should and shouldn't be using. I've heard that it's gotten a little easier than it used to be to connect things and make use of things, but it's always been a little bit iffy. Okay, well this isn't good. So I can throw this in here, but I need something that actually already has some iron already. Unfortunately, it seems like all of this is being used. I probably should also have an assembler for the nanite and an assembler for just me, like in this, if I need just some iron plates or something. Alright, so let's say 270 power cells, and this is still 220, or what did I say, 250? Power cells, power cells. Where'd the power cells go? There they are. Oh, what did I say? 170? Sure. We'll go with that. Alright, give me that. That should be good for now. So yeah, that's what that, and the other thing that I want to practice with, my first starter script will probably be a readout for the hydrogen amount here. To tell me how much it's filled, just because that'll get me used to pulling custom data and stuff like that, and you know, parsing strings and stuff and getting information out of the code. Oh, one other thing I wanted to bring up. That was weird. Took forever for that to light up. One other thing I wanted to bring up is that some of you may notice, some of you may not, that I'm imagining it won't be too drastic, but the overall aspect ratio of my videos will probably look a little different. I briefly touched on this in my Elite Dangerous episode, like super brief. I didn't really fully explain all that in that video, so even if you watch that, I'd like to rehash it again. But essentially, I got a new monitor. And for those of you that may not be aware, for a very long time I'd been using kind of just what I had laying around monitor, which it wasn't bad, but it had this really weird quirk where it had a strange aspect ratio, like for max. The max aspect... I can't talk today. Aspect ratio. The maximum it could do was 1680 by 1050, which is a really weird aspect ratio. Like, it doesn't really fall under any thing. It's just kind of what it is, which is weird. But So I ended up getting a new monitor finally, which does 1080p. So now I'm actually recording in 1080p. And the reason you guys may notice it, I don't actually notice any difference for me in the gameplay aspect, but the reason you guys might is because to compensate for that and allow YouTube to auto-detect my videos as 1080p, I would typically add just a hair of stretching, or cropping, not cropping, but basically stretching, for lack of a better term, to the videos during editing, and so it would get a little stretch. Nobody ever really seemed to notice, but now that I'm bringing it up, and actually now that you're seeing it differently, it might be like, so this looks weird. What's weird about this? Like I said, like gameplay-wise, other than the fact that my monitor is sharper and stuff now, I don't really see the difference in aspect because it wasn't happening during gameplay, it was happening during post-production. So that's just something I want to let everybody know. If you think it looks weird or something, it's probably going to take some getting used to, because you're used to actually seeing it stretch to 1080p, but there's a little bit of a border there that I edited out so there wasn't any black border. But now you're actually seeing it in like 1080p and there's no stretching. So it's legitimate 1080p, not faked. So with that in mind, it may look a bit odd at first, but it's actually now the way it's supposed to look, like the way it should be looking kind of thing. So yeah, anyways, that's another thing. So essentially at this point, let me know what you guys think. I do want to make some kind of server room as I go about building. I may go this way and down, mayhaps. That doesn't look like a bad idea, of go down this way. And dig further into the mountain kind of thing. Or I could go this way and keep going forward or off to the side. Like, there's a couple different ways I could do it. This seems more production and mining, though. This is more... Down this way is more, you know, like we get into the medical and the more secure stuff. Plus, as things get important, I would want that the server room more secure, so it doesn't get blown up. So tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to start doing that. Where is my Spectator camera? Because I might need that to place this stuff. Alright, let's try this. Oh, I love that. It's so cool. Was I using... I was using the ramps. Okay, I wasn't sure what I was using here. Okay, so we're going to do a ramp. I don't have any more plates. I just put them all back. Dagnabbit. Oi. Alright, and it ate them. Dagnabbit. And now it's making these again. Great. Alright, so 170... and 180. Let's build a few more of those, and then... Nope. 170. 180. Alright. Problem averted. Alright, I don't know how many of these I'm going to need. Let's just start with 20. That should be good. So yeah, I'm still, this is the hard part for me. I've been telling everybody that, well, I'm changing up my schedule and such and so on, so that I can do more quality to the episodes. And I do intend to do that. Unfortunately for me, I just happen to make that change around the time of year when I'm the most busy personally. So if you guys aren't really seeing that yet, you know, it's still feeling kind of fluff episodes and not really feeling like we're getting as much progress done and, you know, we're not doing as much work. That's probably true. You're probably not seeing anything that's not there, but just know as things quiet down on my end behind the scenes, I will be able to do more of what I've been hoping to do, which is get some more production type stuff done. Alright, so we have quite a bit of room to work with out here that we can go. I'm kind of wondering if we need to go any further down, or if I should just go, like, over now, and then... That's what I think I'm going to do, if I can. so I'm not really worried about the room here. So we can go ahead and... where is it? There it is. Turn that off. Wow, that's pretty good. You would think I'd be seeing a metal ridge for it, but I'm not. So let's see if this will work with me a bit. I don't remember how far I can stretch this. So for now, I'm going to actually... maybe I need to be closer. No, I think I've outworn... yeah. Okay, so I'm out past what I can do. Alright, so... the next step is to make our tunnel down here. Okay. And when we get to straight ground... but I do love that about that spectator mode trick. Ah, crap, I went a little far, but that's fine. I love that about the spectator mode trick, is that it allows you to make even tunnels because you can actually follow the terrain that you've already put into place. That's what's really, really cool about that little trick there. I personally find... what the heck is going on? Thank you. So this is going to be the branching point. I wonder if I should do... no, I guess it doesn't matter. So this is where the server room is going to go, but then from here, I'm going to go ahead and establish another branch, and then that will go somewhere else for some other thing. But for now, all I'm really interested in is the server room. And we're going to put the doorway here. I'm not really sure why some of this is getting welded and some of it's not, but whatever. Okay, and let's see, we don't really need to have this connected up through, like, the conveyor system or anything. And let's just do 1, 2, 3... okay, I think I'm outside the realm again. And this will actually give us a lot more, authentic, I guess? Not really the word I was looking for, but, realistic, maybe, is you'll still get some of this stuff where it's like things are embedded in the walls and stuff because we're not really digging it out and then putting stuff there so that we have enough room. It gives us a more natural appeal. So overall, I just really, really like that trick. Am I out of steel? It seems I am. Okay. Because I wanted to make this actually a little bit bigger. Turn my lights off, I guess. How's this going? Okay, so it barely got through that stuff. Let's do 105. I like to keep it kind of even so it's easier to remember. And 180. And then 105 and... nope. Nope. I was trying to just, like, minus, and it's just not working. 180. Okay. And give me blocks. Oh! Something just happened. I lost power somewhere. Okay. Well, that's not good. Weird, everything's running, but my light's turned off. What the heck happened? I'm confused by this only because I should be getting more power if the solar panels are done. I shouldn't be getting... well, okay, hold on. I may not be because these aren't properly aligned. So let's properly align them. I'm gonna have to eyeball this, I guess. It's almost straight that by the time I get this squared away. I this is gonna be it. Enhanced rotor. Current angle, and it's not moving. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Oh wait, no, that is the right one. Or, I mean, the wrong one. Blech. Words. Okay. Let's go with 0.05 or 7. Actually, let's just do 0.1. And then when this gets, like, aligned correctly, I'm just going to paste in the follow the sun speed. Alrighty, so I got this more properly aligned, I hope. I was kind of basing it off of this one. And they look like they're more aligned. So let's go down and see if our lights came back on. It's possible that because I'm adding more power but then adding more batteries to draw from... Yeah, there we go. Lights are back on. So I think it was because they weren't aligned correctly and it wasn't following the sun. But it is also possible that as I add more batteries that are set to charge and not output, that you can lose more power as well. Okay, and we don't have any extra metal, so I only have 20 blocks. But I think we can fix this in that time frame, or that amount. Alright, so we currently have 1, 2, 3, I believe. So let's do 4 and 5, and then we'll do a border, I think. Am I really out of the way? Alright. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. And then this will be the actual, like, border of the room kind of thing. Well, not really. If I was going to do a border, it would have to go here. That's the border. Because this section I'd actually like to be the... I pictured 10 servers, and that should give me a little bit of wiggle room in terms of what all scripts I want to run. You know, I'm not really limited that way, as I can kind of do whatever works. And we'll go ahead and start doing those like this. And then we're going to go ahead and throw a top layer here so that I know this is kind of where the room ends. And I think we're out of blocks at that point. Okay, so with that in mind, that's fine over there. I should run into, if I keep going this way, I should run into a wall. And then I can follow that around. Oops! Ah, well, poo. Went a little too close, I guess. Alright, so there's the other one. And I should be able... I didn't end up getting to do that, but I should just be able to kind of carve out here. There we go. And so that's kind of the area. We'll put another block there, which will be fine. So yeah, we're going to do the same thing on the other side once the solar panel stuff is kind of more completed. And I don't have to fight with my assembler and stuff to get what I need. And then we're going to do these server rack terminal type things over to here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then that way, like I said, we'll have enough room to basically do whatever scripts for a while that we want. And that will just serve as the server room. One thing I could probably start doing is label LCDs. Like hydrogen storage, med bay, server room, production and drill platform, storage, hangar, you know, etc. and so on. Actually, let's go ahead and break this down. I'm going to do it manually just so that I can go replace it. without feeding the stuff back into it. So yeah, that's something I want to work on, but admittedly don't really know when it's actually going to get worked on. Because it's, like I said, it's just holiday times and stuff with Christmas and things, and in my family there's a few birthdays and stuff that happen to line up on the same kinds of weeks and stuff, so there's birthdays on top of Christmas stuff, on top of visiting with family and other people coming in from the holiday, you know, all that kind of stuff. What did I have this set as? Programmable block, I think it was Hydro Storage Script, because that was the first thing I was going to screw around with just to get used to some of the scripting stuff again. So yeah, I'm thinking that's gonna wrap things up for this episode. Like I said, I hope everybody is okay with bearing with me a little bit. I know that I talked up coming back with more focused content and not doing as much fluff episodes and actually getting more progress done. But at the same time, it's also been one of those where, like, you know, like I said, it's doing it in the holiday time was not a bad idea, but it just didn't come out as efficiently as I would have liked it to. Yeah, they're pretty close aligned. It could stand to be a little bit closer, I suppose, but we're up to 3 solar panels functioning now. So, how much does this have left on it? Solar cells, so that's all it's got, and then these have, I'm guessing, power cells to go. Yep. So, yeah. And it looks like the lack of pistons and stuff is fine. So we'll probably at some point redo this one, but for now it's fine. And since we do have a 1 piston limit, we're okay with that, but for now, but eventually I may end up changing that, I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at this point. We're making progress, we're doing stuff, but it's going to get better probably sometime into February. I'm saying that cautiously. I'd like to say January, but there's still a couple of things that are going to be going on towards the first of the year. You're starting a new year type thing that I'll have to focus on a little bit as well. And I'm still working on the book stuff. The book stuff has kind of hit a halt only because of all the stuff going on in the background between the dog and food poisoning stuff and bed bugs and my tooth getting pulled. There was just a lot going on. So I didn't really work on that too much, but I need to get back into the swing of it this week or maybe next week. And I need to focus on really getting the revisions done so I can focus on the book cover, because that's the last 2 big things I have. I'm revising some things because it needs to be polished up, needs to be explained better or explained at all. Some things I forgot to explain or describe, and so that needs to be done. But then it also needs to go through editing, which I'm going to be looking for an editor. And then the big thing is the book cover part that I still need to get really finalized and taken care of, kind of thing. So, you know, it's all stuff that's in the works, but it is still being worked on, type of thing. I'm hoping to have a progress update for you guys on Dog Squad by February or so. We're not going to be able to do the end of the year thing. I was hoping we were, but there's just been too many things that came up last minute this year that has just royally screwed over my schedule, kind of thing. So that's just not going to happen. It's still not as far from production as it was. Like, we're still working on stuff, but as far as getting it done and ready to release, it's not going to be this year. I would like to say we'd get some progress done in January, but again, I'm leery of setting anything too hard in stone, only because life lately has been having a tendency to prove me wrong. So I would say I'd like to have an update for you guys on, like, by February. Like, at the beginning of February, I'd like to be able to say we've made X amount of progress on the Dog Squad stuff, and we're moving into the next part, kind of thing. If nothing else, just getting the audio done would be a big step. Because it basically has come down to myself and Caden Red Pearl as the two we're the only 2 remaining voice acting parts that need to be finished. And that's one of those that we've been the 2 busiest at the moment. So it's been hard for us to get on the same page and get to a point where we can actually do recording stuff. That said, I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing for Saturday's episodes. Sunday's going to be in the Inspiration series again. I actually got a message or a comment, I forget, from one of the builders that I had featured before that has a new build thing I'm super excited about, and I really don't want to say any more than that. Some of you probably already have known or have seen it before, but for me, I just kind of wanted to have it be a bit more surprising, because the first one was really cool, and the second one looks even better. So I'm excited for the return of the Inspiration series, because we have some cool stuff to show off. At least, if nothing else, that one build in particular has me excited. But as far as Saturday goes, I'm really not sure. I've narrowed it down to I'm either going to be doing a return to the Let's Play for Empyrean, something altogether new. I've been looking at maybe doing something like Crashlands or Oxygen Not Included or something like that that's a bit more under the base building simulation type stuff, or colony sim, whatever you want to call it. Mainly because I've had Crashlands on my tablet. It's one of those rare cross-play between PC and Android and stuff like that. But I really hadn't messed with it too much. I got it, I played it a bit, and then kind of put it down. And lately, with all the, like, having to watch my dog and stuff like that, there's been times where all I had was my tablet. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this again. And it's actually really fun. It's actually pretty cool in a quirky humor kind of way. So I thought about doing that, but I'm not really too confident on doing that. It doesn't really seem something that would be a long-term thing. I just saw a trailer for the Oxygen Not Included game not too long ago, and that didn't seem too bad, but it's kind of one of those niche things where some people may not enjoy it very much. So, something new, but I'm not too excited about that, like doing something new, just because I'm trying to minimize the amount of work I'm putting into stuff while still being able to put out good content. And I feel like if I start playing a new game, it's going to be like, that's going to be a very big time sink. The other option, like I said, was the Empyrean Let's Play, going back to that and just picking up where I left off and continuing it as is. But the other option was doing a Space Engineers Let's Build series, and this was recommended to me because it would keep the Let's Play and the ship building kind of separate. Like, you can work on the base, but then when you have a build for a ship done, then it's like, okay, we can just throw that into the Let's Play and as a blueprint. Not a bad idea. And if I did that, I actually had a second idea on top of that, which was start off by building some of the ships that need to be built for a dog squad, and that way some of you guys would be giving feedback and ideas. I mean, I don't really want to, like, take ideas that are other people's and just run with them. Haha, it was totally my idea. And I can't, in any efficient, effective way, give, like, appropriate credit for everything, every input, everything like that gets used. So it would be one of those where more primarily me building what I want to build. But if you guys had good suggestions, then, like, taking it and going, yeah, I like that idea type of thing. But I can't guarantee that it would turn into proper accreditation and stuff like that, so that's one of those where I'm a little mixed about that. But the reason I bring that up is it would kill two birds with one stone. It would let me get progress done on those ship designs without actually having to cut into taking away time from my episodes, because they would be one and the same, at least until those ships are designed and built. So that's an idea that I've been rolling around, if not just doing a Let's Play. But I have thought about including the dog squad builds kind of thing as well. So with that in mind, I think we're going to wrap things up here. This episode got a little bit longer because I kind of decided to do a post-wrap-up explanation on what's been going on at the end there. But I think we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.